Okay, so this is a little introduction into the grades feature of D2L. D2L, before we get started, D2L is set up to calculate a mark for you using weightings. And that's not something that we've been using it for. So what this video is going to show you how to do is basically just track your student marks online. We'll show you how to enter marks manually if you have a bunch of papers that you've marked and you want to just put the marks in. And we're also going to show you how to create an assignment that is linked to your gradebook. So if I go up here and create an assignment, when the students hand it in, you mark it, the mark will automatically show up in your gradebook. So let's go to the Grades tool. So I go to Grades, and it wants you to use the Setup Wizard, and you can if you like, but what I tend to do is just go straight into Manage Grades. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two categories. I'm going to make one category that is going to be term work. So I'm going to call this term work, and I'm going to put a 70 at the end because that's kind of reminds me that this is part of the 70%, and I'll just say the short name is term. Now here's where D2L has this distribution with points, and I'm not going to pay too much attention to this. This is where D2L will want to actually kind of mark things for you or weight things for you. And so I'm just going to leave this alone, and I'm going to show you a little later how we can change this to just act as like a mark book that you keep with you. So I'm going to go down, and and again, it's got a student view, so you can display the class average to users. Generally, I'm not doing this stuff, but this is how you can control what students see when they go to their personal gradebook. So I'll save and close, and this has now created a category, term work 70. These two categories, by the way, are automatically there from D2L. Again, they want to calculate and adjust the grade for you. We're not going to do or use those really. And I'm going to go another category, and this is where I'm going to put in the exam, the 30% exam. So exam 30, I'll just put exam, and again, just keep it simple, save and close. So now I have two categories. So all of my summative assessments are going to fall under one of these two categories. I can even do a subcategory if I wanted to go under term work 70. I could have another category that was called Unit 1, and I could put multiple summatives under there if I wanted to. I won't do that just to keep it simple. I'm going to now make a summative. So an item is how they refer to it in D2L. So I'm going to make a numeric item. So let's pretend that Unit 1, we just had a summative for Unit 1, so I'm going to call it summative test Unit 1. So I can call it U1 or something like that. And this is going to be under the term work category. And so I'm going to go down, and I'm going to change the maximum points here to 100 because generally well, this can be anything you want. If you have a test out of 52, you can make it a 52. If you're going to use a percentage, then make it 100. This number here can be anything you want it to be. And down here, I'm going to save and close. And there we have summative test Unit 1, numeric 100. And so then I can make another one. I'll call it summative test Unit 2. U2, overrated band, and term work, and save and close. Oh, let's say that one was, maybe I had a test out of 53, save and close. Okay, so that's how that works. Before I go too far here, you can also, if you're not using a numeric, you saw that there was an option for select box. So if you're using levels, you can choose this one, and then same kind of thing. We'll do summative, there we go, summative, and maybe this is a project for Unit 3, U3, category is still the same, and then down here, you can choose the weighting that it's going to be or just leave it blank, and there's your grading scheme, levels, save and close. I must admit I'm not an expert with the levels, but that's where that can fall into place. I think in that case you would just kind of ignore the weighting. And now we get to exam 30, so I can make another item. So if I have a final exam, then I can do the same thing. I can make a numeric exam. or select box, anything I want, and this could just be final exam, short name, just call it EX, and this time the category is going to be exam 30, and now my maximum points again just be out of whatever, so if you have an exam out of say 110, 110 will work there, and save and close, and there we go. So now I've got my gradebook pretty much set up, and if I click enter grades you can kind of see how it looks. If we wait just 1 second, there we go. So now you can see here's all of the different areas where the marks can be. I can click here to enter the marks. So if I have all of the marks or all my papers graded and I want to enter the marks manually, if I need to go in and change a mark, I can do it through here. I can put anything I want, hit save. Here's all the levels that I can put in for every assignment. There is a way to make the final grades, final calculated grade, all this stuff that D2L automates, you can make this not show up so that it doesn't clutter it up. But essentially this is now an area where you can see everything that your students have done. So now that you've seen this, if we cancel this, now we've got our gradebook set up. This was a way to kind of get everything set up manually before the semester started. But another way to do it, let's say that you create an assignment. So if I make another assignment, and I'm going to make an assignment for Unit 4, so I'm going to call this summative assignment Unit 4, and I can put in all my instructions. I could attach a Word document or a Google Docs file with all of the stuff in it. So if I click here, you can see I can put in a file, a link, a Google Drive link. I can take one of the assignments that I've been using on my computer and I can upload it so the students can see all the instructions for the assignment. And down here I can make it an individual assignment or a group assignment. I can choose how the students are going to hand in their assignment, so they're going to hand in a file, or they're going to just type something in, or is it going to be on paper? These are the different submission types. How many, if a student submits one, can they submit a different one? So it's either one file or unlimited. But where I want to go is down here. So now you can see there's category. So if I go here to, grade item is where I want it to be. If I go here to grade item, you can see all the grade items are here. Term work 70, that's a category, so notice I can't highlight it, it's not an item. And so what I want to do is I want to make this a new grade item. So if I click here, numeric, and then I say this is summative project for Unit 4, and then I'll call it U4, and I'll put this in the term work category, and then down here I can put a description if I want to. I'm going to leave this alone. Actually, no, I won't. I'll make this say it's a percentage thing, so out of 100. So it's very similar, and I can make this available for a certain time if I only want it to be available for a certain time with an assignment having a due date. Save, and now what I've just done is this assignment that I've just made, it is now linked to something in my grade book. So when the students hand it in, score out of 100, there we go. When the students hand it in, when I mark it, the mark will actually appear right in the grade book. I can also put in an email, and this tells me if the students hand in the assignment, I'll get an email notifying me of that. But if I hit save and close here, there we go. So that's the assignment. And if I go into the grades area, it says if we go into the grades area, there we go. I had to wait for it, but you can see there's U4. So I made this one a different way. I made this linked to an assignment. And I can do this for multiple things. If I have a quiz that I create, I can link it also into a gradebook. And that way, if students go online and they submit their stuff, or if it's a quiz and I go online and mark the quiz, it will automatically link to the gradebook, and I'll have one central place with all my students' marks. And more importantly, I don't have my students coming to me asking if something has been marked, asking what the mark is. It's always online for them to see. So that is a general overview of how you can use the D2L gradebook. Again, D2L will want to apply weightings and calculate things for you, but you can just kind of ignore that and just use it as a central place where you can hold students' marks, and then later you can come determine the final marks using your professional judgment.